fam? This is your boy Jay Clark. I'm here tonight, live as usual, Wednesday night, waiting on my homegirl caller to come in. We got an introduction for the show. I'm gonna get that together and figure out how that's supposed to go and all that right now. But for right now, let me make this live open to the public. For some reason, when I'm live, Facebook won't make my lives open to the public. I have to edit audience. Now it's public. Save, share. Well, it won't let me share. Let's see. Now let's see. Is this live shareable, fam? Either way, we rocking and rolling. I'm waiting for my guest, Miss Carla Wilson, to come in. While we waiting for her to come in, y'all know as I do Wednesday, I developed a nice little vibe, little flavor of a cigar. So that's my co-host, Miss Carla, just came in. Let me add her to the stage, get her mic going. It says can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. So because your mic. So it's some on your end. As you can see, I don't know if you're watching the stream, Miss Carla Nicole. Your picture is not showing and your mic is not ready. So I'm gonna remove you from her end. We'll see what's going on. What's popping with the population, Chris Mayfield? We got an interesting topic for you tonight. We're gonna talk about the boss. I'm gonna save it for Miss Carla to introduce, but let me go ahead and get this guy going. And we're gonna get tonight's show rolling for you. Y'all know what I was thinking the other day. It's hard for me to get my feet wet in this podcast stuff because y'all know I was going live doing this, talking for hours and counseling people and doing the Kevin Samuels and the Kendra G on people before it was even called a podcast. Y'all know I've been doing this for years. What's up, Mr. Lee Smith? Y'all know I've been doing this for years. So let me see, Miss Carla Nicole. We still ain't got you in here. I don't know what's going on. Let me put the link up for her again because she is the hostess with the mostest, and we need her input. We need you, Miss Carla Nicole. What you got going on? Let me see. Can I call her on the phone? See what's happening. That's when you got direct contact to. Let's see. Can I call her? That's when you got direct contact.
Hello, love. I'm in. Give me just a second. I'm coming right now.
Okay, yeah, it's saying your voice. It won't let me unmute your mic.
I gotta fix my mic and my camera. So bear with me. I'm coming in now.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. And there it is. She's working on her mic and her camera. I'm gonna get the stream to a little bit earlier on in the future. I'll be, you know what I'm saying? I'll be getting my thing, doing my thing, getting my thing done. I got the stream to her right at 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna get the stream to her probably about 9:30. Device is not connected, Miss Carla. What's up, Maryland Miracles? Man, you inspire me with the workout, man. I don't know if you can see it. My face and got a little slim. I've been hitting the gym hard, doing them burpees, doing them pull-ups. My guy and his crew, they got a crew down there in Florida, man. They really be going to get it.
You trying to turn the handsome on, are you, this beautiful evening, sir?
There she go. There she go. What's up? I'm going to get the stream out to you a little bit earlier from now on so you can get nice and set up. I figured you was back there powdering your nose.
Well, you know, I have to listen. I have to be ready. You know, I got to be ready. But no, listen, I'm loving it. I'm loving your lineup. It looks really handsome on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Loving it. Yes. Our beautiful black man. Our beautiful black man, just love you to death.
Thank you. I feel like I'm glowing tonight.
Yes, you are. Dimples and all, smile, look.
Yeah, don't let me take nothing away from you, Miss Carla, but I feel like I'm glowing tonight. Normally I ain't too
Yes,
stuck
honey.
with myself. I'm just playing. But look,
I love
we
it.
can go ahead and get into today's message. You had two topics, but we're gonna go ahead and cover the first one. And I think from now on, we're gonna go ahead and start just rapping, covering topics like boom, 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 boom. Let people
Yeah.
call, ask you some questions, because a lot of people have been hitting me up, and a lot of people like you, Miss Carla. A lot of people like your vibe. A lot of people like what you bring to the table, what you got to say. So go ahead and introduce us for today's topic tonight.
So welcome everyone. I am Coach Carla Nicole. And I get moved by different scenarios that come on my feed on my my Carla Nicole Wisdom Coaching page. And I happened to come across a Valentine's Day gift that a lady got from her boss, okay? And she apparently took the gift home. It was like a bear and flowers and and I'm thinking it was her husband. He was very unhappy. So I wanted to talk about this because I know you and I like to, rant and rave a little bit about different topics.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I like to give different perspectives on things, but it was very intriguing how the husband got so infused with anger. So he takes the gift, throws it, destroys it, and the wife is yelling and complaining. But when she was yelling and complaining, she was yelling and complaining that it's her gift and how dare he go and destroy it. And then she proceeds to, in the very tail end of the conversation, she proceeds to say she's the breadwinner.
Ooh.
And so I was like, okay, this is getting spicy.
Yeah, it sounds like we could write a movie about that.
Yes. So she mentioned she was the breadwinner and that she was not happy at the fact that he was tearing up her gift from her boss.
Mm-hmm.
And she just felt it was out of line. Her husband then proceeds to say that he's not happy that she got the gift and welcomed the gift in the home, and that he felt disrespected. So after all was said and done, at the tail end of this video, she says to him, he has 5 seconds to leave the premises. So
now let me ask you this. Go ahead. Finish. Because I got
wait a minute. Wait a minute now. You know how I am. I'm old school. I didn't like that at all. She asked her husband to leave the premises over this gift. I was like, okay. So I thought this would be a really good conversation tonight because, it's several things, but the main thing is you ask your spouse to leave. You're upset about his upset.
Mm-hmm,
And then you brought up that you're the breadwinner. Again, my issue with all of these things, drums up a different energy for me because I always look at it like a man should be the head of the household.
Yeah.
So that was my issue. So this is what motivated me to want to talk about this topic. And I definitely think that your angle is going to be interesting too. I like to see what you're going to say.
I'm gonna just dive right in it. My wife has gotten gifts from her boss, but her job is she works at a school. My job last week, week before last, Valentine's Day, the job gave out like big bouquets of roses and candy to all of the female employees, and they gave them out to all the employees, but it was more female driven. It's the Department of Human Services Department of Health and Human Services building. So it's all social workers there, social workers there, some married. It's probably about 600 social workers in there. So when they came in, they had flowers and candy for everybody. So much so that there were flowers and candies left over. People were taking flowers and candy home to their own mate. So a situation like that, as an employee giving out gifts, I can understand it. Or if it's a more smaller, intimate company, about 10 employees. But my question would be, did her boss give everybody else a gift? Because if he didn't give everybody else a gift, it seemed like he singled her out. And if he's singling her out for Valentine's Day, he fucking that woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, or wanna fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real about it. It's almost inappropriate for a boss to give staff presents. You know what I'm saying? That's a thin line. But okay, Christmas presents, Easter gifts. If everybody in the company gets a gift, that's different. Okay, hey, it's Valentine. The company celebrate this holiday. But if you gave this woman an individual gift and you didn't give nobody else a gift, that's I would consider that almost sexual harassment, sexual advances, trying to fuck that woman. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that. Now, if he gave everybody else a gift, I think the husband is, if she could say, hey, the boss gave everybody a gift, this was a company thing, I think the husband is overreacting. But if that man know that boss gave her a specific gift specifically for her, nah, that's some bullshit. Now, we can get into the whole breadwinner thing later, because that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's a woman doing what she do. Look, I want to keep my shit. I'm the breadwinner. Even if I want my shit regardless of what she need to say. So we know that that's just a woman responding and how women respond. But do you have any more insight to it as far as, did he give everybody gifts or did he give her just a gift?
I don't believe so. I didn't hear a rebuttal in the video.
Because you would have thought she would have said that, God damn it, leave me alone. He gave everybody a mother.
I didn't hear a rebuttal come from that. And I think that there is a mutual attraction, personally, just from what I spiritually feel. I feel like there is a little flirtation, a little attraction going on. But I also feel like, we're human beings and we all come across different attractions. That's just human. That's just what it is. We all know that's just what it is. However, what I think is your mate or your primary lover, or, your group, if you have a group, if you're a poly, should feel significant. So I felt like there was a dishonor towards him. And what I mean by that is bringing the gift home and kind of displaying it to show it off, to me shows that there's a law of polarity. Okay. So when there's extremes like this, you're on one side and he's on the other. So whenever there's a conflict, I always look at the law of polarity. And what I look at is, if he's up and she's down, something is not being said. For me, I feel like there's several things that were unsaid, which were, number one, she wasn't speaking about the fact that she has an attraction or that there is a flirtation going on. That was not said. Yet you displayed the floral arrangement, whatever that was that you got. You displayed it at home, which tells me that you made sure that your mate saw it. See, for me, I'm about protection of my lover, my spouse, my mate, whatever. And so I'm going to protect his heart. Regardless of how I feel, regardless of if I'm trying to get cute or be petty or whatever, I'm not going to butt hurt my man. Off of some nonsense that I got from a little flirtatious thing that I know we got going on at work. I'm not going to bring it home. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to appreciate
are you saying
it.
that you would have gotten the flowers and kind of just said thank you from the boss and threw them away and hid them?
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it and left it at that. It wouldn't have been brought home to the house, because that's showing to me in the law of polarity. You brought it home. So that signifies that there's a reason behind your action.
Yeah, obviously we know this.
Either you wanted a reaction from him to cause a ruckus, to enforce him to leave, or you wanted to feel appreciated, or you wanted to feel some type of attention.
So let me ask you something, Carla. I got this saying. I said we all psychics, and I got this saying. It's like you already know. I say this all the time. It seemed like it's like a open and shut case. It's like this lady bought these flowers home on Valentine's Day. It could have been any other day of the year. And this man might have not asked no questions, but this man know he ain't sent her them flowers. She bought them home. She set them up in a place where he could see them. Yeah. When this man asked her about him, my boss gave them to him. We started an argument. And at some point she said, well, I make all the goddamn money and you need to leave. This woman is in love with her boss and got fed up and wants to leave her husband for her boss. And the reason she makes all the damn money is because the boss fucking her. You know, she might have had that job making good money at first, but it seemed like this an open and shut case. I want to ask the audience what they think. Is this open and shut, or is this more complex? Total Woman says, I wonder if he was making more money, would he have cared? I think he would have cared. I mean, it's just like Carla said. Where you get these flowers from? My boss. What the fuck you bringing them in here for? And that's assuming it's flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it was like an arrangement. So it was like a bear, and then a little balloon, and then it was a get up. It wasn't just.
And what it say on to Be My Valentine? Look, let's be real. You know, when we was growing up, since the beginning of time, Carla, when we was kids, right? I remember when I was young, they had the Valentine's Day set. It was like maybe 30 cards, because classrooms used to be about 30 kids. 30 cards. And you got to put your little name in, and everybody get a card. You even get a boys a card. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
But in that pack of 30, it was like one big card.
Yes.
And one big card, that's who you get a girl you really, really, really like.
The special one, yes. Exactly.
Yeah, so he gave this woman the goddamn special Valentine. He might have gave everybody in the goddamn boss in the plant a damn a little. He might have gave them little hearts with the candy on it that said "Be mine, I like you." The little dance. He gave her a special motherfucker.
Well, I mean, and the husband threw it all down the steps and stuff. He was really hot. And so, and so for me, I'm always looking at, like I said, the law of polarity. So you're at this rage, you're at this level of rage, which tells me that she incentivized the rage by bringing it home. So her energy is actually matching his rage. Does that make sense? See, I talk a lot about nonverbal. We don't talk enough about it, but nonverbal actions are usually loud. Yeah. And when your husband is throwing stuff all down the steps and yelling and screaming, that means that your energy that you did before you got the item to the house, you were already on some petty stuff to begin with. So that's why I'm saying it's the law of polarity.
Yeah, and to me, it's just clearly some woman slick shit.
Absolutely.
Some woman slick shit.
Absolutely. Like she wants some kind of attention, or she wanted to drum up the drama so that we can get up out, or I can get you up out, or we can have some type of argument.
Or I would say this, like you said, the nonverbal communication and the connotative stuff. So say, for example, if she came home and it was innocent and her husband said, your boss gave you these, I'm a little insecure or whatever, she could have said, okay, honey, I'll throw them away or whatever. But when he threw them away and she doubled down and said, go get them shits back. And then it goes so far as say, I make more money than you, motherfucker. Like, I should be able to accept flowers from my boss. Almost like she looked at that man and said, he fucking take care of us.
Right.
That's exactly what I heard.
That's what I mean. See what you heard? That's what I felt. So you heard that. I felt that.
I heard he take care of us, motherfucker. Yes. So I'm keeping these goddamn flowers.
Right. And that is okay. And so when we speak about, and I talk about how important it is to always make sure that whoever is in your life, whether you're in a poly arrangement, mono arrangement, or you're doing monogamy like me, when you have those type of relationships, You want to make sure that your significant others or your significant lover feel significant. There should not be a question or a pondering in the mind that I'm not really sure. I mean, yeah, she's in bed with me every night, but I'm not sure if I'm really significant. Because again, just because you're in the bed with someone every night doesn't necessarily mean you're making them feel significant.
You said something one day, and I want to joke with you real quick. You know, I got a lot of respect for you, but this miogamy,
We gotta have fun.
I can't even say the shit, miogamy shit. It's like, that's such a beautiful way to say I fuck when and like I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
So your question again with this miogamy shit. So is there like a hierarchy? Because like you said, your significant other, what if you go see your little friend that you say you've been kicking it with for years and you got flowers, or he see, you know what I'm saying? How do you explain that in that situation? Do you tell that person, look, I accepted these because this is somebody I'm really kicking it with? And then what if he like, but I thought we had the number one miogamy going on. You know what I'm saying? How do you break that?
Right.
Miogamy.
Well, see, remember what I always tell you is that I don't want to put a lid or a cap on relationships. When we put a cap on it, even when we call it poly, we're putting a cap on it. Like, we're poly, so we're open. So anything goes. It's like, no, why don't we just evolve and allow it to just become?
And what I believe,
yes,
you full of shit, Miss Paula.
And let me just tell you what's so hilarious is that I feel like a lot of times we forget that in relationships, we don't realize that it's who we work with the best.
Okay. See, you got a real nice way of explaining some shit. So, but you still ain't answering my question. What happens when I don't want to say number one miogamy, but your longest miogamy or your most important miogamy? How do you assess, hey, he want to go out for Valentine's, or I want to take you out of the country for this? How do you relate to each person their level of importance? Like, how do you? I know you're not like
okay. So I'll put it this way. So the life partner, pretty much we've established we're going to be in each other's lives. Period. We've pretty much established that.
So would you say he's number one?
He's number one.
Okay.
And everybody or anybody that wants to be friends or interactive with me understands that. They understand what it is.
Can he be replaced, or can somebody move up the ladder and replace him?
He cannot be replaced. No.
So can I get in your business for a little bit?
Come on.
Are y'all working towards marriage, or because marriage ain't the big thing?
No, we can't do that.
This is the question everybody want to ask. Look, is he married?
No.
Okay.
And what's so funny is
somebody told me to ask you that, so I had to ask you that. So
no, I'm glad they asked. Yeah. No, there's no marriage, and there's no wanting to get married. And actually, if I'm all the way honest, I've evolved from marriage, and it's not because of necessarily that I'm anti-marriage, but I've just been through marriage already and understand it. And
twice,
now I've established twice.
Okay.
Now I've established that I don't have to have that to be locked. Matter of fact, check this out. My actual life partner has outlived both of my marriages put together.
So you saying
we're best friends
the whole time?
Say that again.
Are you saying you was kicking it with your life partner the whole time you was married to both?
No, I'm saying that they were all separate. But what I'm saying is that the life partnership outlasted both marriages put together.
So you're saying possibly, so I can interpret this, You might have been with one husband 4 years, one husband 7
I was
years,
with
but
one
you been with your
husband.
life
I was with one
partner.
husband for 7, which
Okay.
was my son's dad. We were married for 7 years, and
Okay.
then my other husband I was married to for 1.5 years,
Okay.
which
So this is
was
the
the DL, the one that was on the DL.
Oh,
Remember I
okay.
told you?
So this is the thing I want to put out there since we're talking about that, and we're gonna get back in the subject, and you got another subject. But Miss
Yeah.
Carla, do you
Yeah.
understand? I want to talk to you about, is there something about the qualities of a woman? Are there some strategic methods that you can put out here? Because me, when I look at you, I see a woman just like instantly. I'm like, okay, I would wife her. Somebody would wife her. I'm sure all the men on here get what I mean. So, is there a certain vibe, je ne sais quoi, that a wife carries? You done been married twice.
Yeah.
Or is this like a strategy? Like once the guy, because I saw a
There's
great video.
there's two major things that a wife
Let me
should
let me
always
finish.
have.
Let me
2.
finish so you can see it. I mean,
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Yeah, but keep
No,
your
you're good.
point. I saw
Okay.
this great video you had said of how you would go to the takeout part of a bar, of a restaurant, and order takeout and sit there, and men that would come in that would have drinks and order their food, and you would hold the door. So that was what I mean when I said you were talking about some strategic things to land in a man. But
Yes.
is there some, go ahead and give your 2 points, but then answer my question. Is there some strategy into being the woman that a man would want to marry? Go ahead.
Absolutely. Number 1, she must be purposeful. And number 2, she cannot be fatherless. Those are 2 majors.
Yeah.
Because when a woman is purposeless and fatherless, she's at a very high disadvantage of being wifed and being understood and being an equal to a man.
Now get into that more, because it sounds like you're saying almost like, a lot of men, those red pill brothers, they say what if I'm playing devil's advocate, like blanket statements, like, so
Right.
they be like, if a woman got kids, don't nobody want her. So are you saying like if a woman is fatherless, she really like cuts herself like 25 to 50% of
Yes.
being wifed? Are you saying
Yes.
so? You're not saying fatherless women don't get wife, but you kind of, I'm asking.
No, what I'm saying is the fatherless women have a tendency to misunderstand men.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
And they can't relate to the man. So in order for a man to be comfortable and vulnerable and want to exchange energy with a woman, he's got to feel understood. That's number 1. If a woman has not had a father that was very involved with her, talking to her, schooling her up, teaching her, and encouraging her to be disciplined and all of those things, if a father is not present in a woman's life, she's at a high disadvantage for being wifed. Now, does that mean she won't be? No, I'm not saying you won't be. But what I am saying is if you don't have understanding of a father in your life, it's very hard to understand what men are standing on and how men stand to put things in place. Women want men to pretty stuff up. They don't like that straightforward shit. They don't want them to just be so headstrong and you got to do this and got to do that. Women get offended so easy because they haven't had a father.
Okay.
And so
So what
fatherless
you're
and
saying
purposeless
is
women struggle.
it's going to be very hard for them to adjust when dealing
Yes.
with a man as far as his leadership goes, what's comforting to him, understanding when to be quiet, understand when to encourage, understand when to push, when to pull back. I get it. So,
and there's even more. And here's the next level. Women that are not used to making decisions. Because here's why I fuss at men. Men know that I'll conjure them up and we'll have our own conversation off record. But one of the things that I tell gentlemen all the time, please stop telling a woman that she doesn't have to worry about anything. You'll take care of it all. Because women have to know how to make decisions and they have to learn how to practice using their mind. When you take them out of being responsible, you take them out of making decisions, You no longer have a life partner, you have a daughter wife.
A daughter, yeah, that lacks critical thinking skills. For some
Yes.
reason, I found in most of the women that I've dealt with as a man, and some have had fathers and some haven't. That's kind of
Hmm.
like universal to me. Like for some reason, if I ask a woman where she want to eat at, what she want to do, it's almost like the decision point. It seemed like women don't like to make decisions because they complain about everything. So it's kind of like that's just my take. Say
Right.
for example, jokingly,
Right.
I tell my wife, okay, we're gonna go where you want to go. Because when we
Hmm.
get there, I want to have a good time. Because if the ice ain't cold enough, you're gonna have something to say. And so
Right.
sometimes I think she don't want to pick the spot because she wants to give herself room enough to say, I don't like this shit. This shit won't good. And I can't say, well, you picked it. So
Right.
I've
Right. Right.
seen that kind of like universal
She
with
wants to
women.
get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I've kind of seen that universal with women not making decisions, but you say that's attributed to men just always saying, I got it, don't worry about it.
I got
I
it.
got it, I take care of stuff, da 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 da
Yes.
da da da.
Right. And men like to do that because they've been programmed to tell women, don't worry about thinking. I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to worry. But the truth of the matter is, in relationships, especially when you're in the thick of life, you got to have a woman that can make decisions and not make them half-assed. She's got to be able to make some problem-solving decisions and be clear. You got to be able to bounce some stuff off of her so she can be like, go left instead of right, because this is the reason. This is what I picked up from this and this and this. You need a woman to be able to strategize, be analytical, and come with some perspective so she
Now I
can
will
help
give my
to
wife
be
that.
behind your
I give my
partner.
wife that. When it comes to small, minuscule stuff like that, but when it comes to like big decisions, she kind of defer to me, but my wife always got an opinion. She's very sharp. She's
Mhm.
very more financially responsible than me. So I kind of just give her the money and let her make the decisions with that, but she always come to me like, even some is like, hey, look, we gonna get new tires on the car. And I was like, look, I saw some good used tires. And she like, well, you decide if we buy used or new. And I'm kind of like, well, you know what the bank account looked like. And she like, well, you decide, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of
Right,
like
right,
trying to
right.
tell her, hey, look, hey,
But
I'm a dude.
my
These
my
used
my
tires.
my love of how you and your wife are doing it is she's making decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, most men don't want them even in that realm at all. They don't want
Yeah.
her to even think about it. I don't want you to think about the oil change. I don't want you to get the transmission flushed. I don't want you to get the windshield wipers changed. I'll take care of all of that. It's like, no, your wife needs to know how to problem solve, because once that windshield wiper starts to waving back and forth and you're not here because you're at work, she can't wait for you to get off work and it's raining. She's going to have to go get a windshield wiper.
Or even
A
just to
woman
know
needs
to
to know,
tell me, hey, look, it's fucking up.
yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
And
saying.
my thing is, I need women to use their mind so they don't lose their mind.
Because I saw a
They got to
YouTube
practice using it.
I saw a Facebook post. What do you think about this? I kind of thought it was a good thing, but now, like hearing what you're saying now, it might not be as good as I thought it was. It was a woman that's no,
Okay.
seriously, it was a woman that said, when I'm with my husband, my brain turn off. Like my brain ain't working. I could run out in the street if he won't hold in my hand. And I kind of thought that was a good thing. Like she feels protected, she feels secure. But then it's
Right.
like, based on what you're saying, a woman need to be vigilant, looking around and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely. Well,
yeah,
because imagine that, and I'll use this because I know you you pay attention to what's going on in the politics world. So I'm gonna use the airplane for example. Imagine that you're the pilot of the plane, and your wife's the co-pilot,
yeah,
and you got to get up and go to the bathroom. And when you get up, she's supposed to be taking care of it for you.
yeah,
And you go in there and your stomach gets to bubbling for real. And now
yeah,
it's diarrhea. So
yeah,
now you're in here longer than normal. And now there's some engine issues. You want to feel confident. My wife's got it. Because yes, I'm back here, but I know she's got me covered. It doesn't matter that I'm in here. I don't have to feel worried or terrified that all these lives, including mine and hers, are in danger because I'm back here and now I got diarrhea. But my wife's got it because she's checked the manuals. She knows the script. She knows what to do. She knows how to problem solve. She knows what I gave her all the information. You want to have the confidence that your wife is your co-pilot at all
Hey,
times.
look, that's a great example. We're gonna clip that. I'm gonna make sure I clip that. Cause it's like almost saying like as he back there shitting and the plane shake a little bit, he like, oh, my wife got it. I can keep shitting. But if he didn't, hey baby, let me show you, I pump your gas, I take you everywhere, blah, blah, blah. When the plane shake a little bit, he jump up and run up with his pants down, like, oh shit, my bitch go fuck everything.
Right. And it's a shitty situation.
Yeah, that's such a great example. We're gonna clip that. I'm definitely gonna use that example. And I always use that example when I say, what if you want to be a pilot and your mate is afraid of heights? Like what kind of situation y'all gonna have? You know what I'm saying? That's a wonderful example. Let me give you an example. I'm trying to top your example. This is some shit I saw before in my real life. My homeboy Corey, he always brag about self-defense and guns and home protection and shit like that. And sometimes I think he be going overboard, right? So we standing out in front of his house one day. And he doing his little regular thing. He's showing me his new guns and telling me all about his home defense plan. And I kind of laugh. He like, what you mean? What you laughing for? And I'm like, man, you know, you be overdoing it, man. You like you a psyops military. He was like, watch this. He called the phone. He said something when his wife answered the phone. He said something like beans or something oddly weird. When he hung up the phone, like 10 seconds later, his wife bust out the fucking house with a pump shotgun. Like, ah! He's like, everything good, baby. I just wanted to show my nigga our little code sign for if I was coming in the house and somebody tried to rob me. And I was like,
delicious.
He was like, man, we got fucking protocol for when she coming in the house. The text, the message, if I'm coming in the house. And I was like, damn.
Yes.
He was bullshit.
She is your co-pilot. She is your right-hand man. She is your, and this is where I didn't learn this. My mom, well, you remember me telling you my mom was spicy. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. When my grandmother passed away, my grandfather lived 9 years after my grandmother had passed away.
Yeah.
And it's all accredited to my mother. Every single year after my grandmother passed, my grandfather lived an additional 9 years because of that woman that I call my mother. Let me tell you why. My mother, as soon as my grandmother passed away, understood that my grandmother and my grandfather had a pact, a life pact. You leave, we go together. My mother was like, oh no, that's not going to work. My grandmother passed away in 1983. My mother gets a hold to my Uncle Russ. My Uncle Russ and my grandfather were like brothers. Okay. She says, I need you to come over here and I need you to empty the bullets out the gun. What? I'm hearing all these conversations now. I'm young. I'm only like 10 years old. What's going on with this? I need you to come empty this clip. Saved him from that. That means saving him from himself, from his desperation, from his possible suicide thoughts or attempts. All that's gone. Mm-hmm. Just like that. Yeah. One thinking and process. Second thing, she calls my first cousin and tells her, you need to come over here and stay with your grandfather. I'm like, you just put somebody in the house with Papa? You didn't even ask nobody? No. Your first cousin is moving in with your grandfather. She was there within at least 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Moved in. Then she proceeds to find my grandfather a lady friend. Miss Bertha, I'll never forget it because my grandmother was heavyset. So my mom's going to find my grandfather a heavyset woman
Yeah.
for his taste and
Yeah.
insisted that he dates this woman. I'm like, my mom was unstoppable. So because of my mom's example, this is why I know that man, my grandfather, was on the planet 9 years longer than he would have been because of her. She led by example. She showed me what a woman's power can do to extend a man's life, to look at all areas that he's not even thinking. He just lost his wife. He's not thinking about taking his life.
Yeah. But he could be.
But he could be. So she was like, let's go ahead
And
and
it could
take
be
care of that.
lonely. Wake up, food ain't
Yes.
ready, by itself,
Yes.
cousin kicked in.
Man, I'm
You know what
telling
I'm
you, Javon,
saying?
all
I
of
dig
that
it. I
stuff.
dig it. I
Yes.
dig it. You know,
So it's important that we know that.
I give you an example of something that happened to me recently with my wife, and I mess with her all the time. And you know,
Okay.
I always say, after a while, husband and wife kind of transcends to like a brother and sister relationship, like
Okay.
a best friend, almost like the sacrifice and concerns. It's a little backstory. Okay, say for example, when I was a stay-at-home dad, and then I got tired of being a stay-at-home dad, but I kind of like the idea that I can kind of move and will and deal with my daughter. She has special needs. So I picked up a third shift job. And
Okay.
in my third shift job, you know what I'm saying? I'm always free during the day. Anytime I get a call about my daughter, anything, I can be there. It's doctor's appointments, anything like that. So
Right.
in having that third shift job, I've always been responsible for cooking. My wife likes to say slim. She don't want to get fat. She don't want me to be fat. So I'm a chef. I
Right.
always cook. So
Love it.
my wife was like, why don't you break your day down to where your day is yours? And I said, what you mean? She was like, what about when you get off work third shift at 8, go to the gym at 8, let your first part of the day be all yours. I'm at the gym. I'm doing my meditations. I'm doing my writings for my plays. I'm messing with my music.
Love it.
And then
Yes.
she was like, yo, for a month, just eat out. Go anywhere you want to and just eat your lunch for the day and just feel good. So I was like, okay, you know, like, what is this about? So I started going to the gym. After I get off from the gym, you know, I go out to Golden Corral, get me a salad or whatever, you know, and eat. And then I would do my little shop runs and come home and I would take a nap. And it's like, it pushed so much of my time together to where I got like 8 hours that's specifically for me. And I've
Yes.
never had that in my life.
You
All
never
my
been
life,
gifted that.
yes,
Yes.
my time has always been for somebody else, for her, for the boys. It's like for the first
You
time in
have
my
been
life.
gifted an ideal gift from that beautiful wife of yours that
Yes.
she saw beyond what you were even thinking, because she saw
Yes.
you always sacrificing and doing for others and
Mhm.
was like, I want to gift him something, and he ain't even going to notice it till after it's all said and
And I
done.
had so much pushback at first because I was like, well, I like it when I get off, I go grocery shopping, then I cook and I had this stuff ready. And it was all
Yeah.
because I'm focusing around the household. I like to have the
The
house clean.
operation.
Yeah,
Men,
exactly.
ladies, pay attention to men. This is a key component. I want you ladies to pay attention to what handsome Javon said here. He made sure to talk about the operation. Men's focus, men's minds are always about the operation. Women, we're about the romance. We're about the relationship. Men are about, well, how's this running? How's it flowing? Who's affected? Who's not getting taken care of because I'm over here doing this? This is why I always want women to see and understand that we don't see it your way because we have not taken the time to understand you're an overseer.
Definitely.
You operate in your home like you operate in your businesses. This is how
There,
men's minds work.
it's almost like a pressure, not a pressure, but innate responsibility to make sure everybody's straight, everything is going right. Even with the adult kids that's outside of the house, like I'm concerned about the
Yes,
legacy. I raised them.
I
Are they
know.
fucking up? Are they doing well? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? When
yes,
women are asleep, a man is looking at the fucking ring camera. We up, we
yes,
thinking. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So for the first time in my life, it's like I didn't even realize how much I had neglected myself. And I had gained like 30 pounds, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
the older you get, the harder it is to hit the gym
To
and do what
lose,
you want to
yes,
do. And it's like
absolutely.
in
Well,
trying,
I love your wife's gift to you because
yeah,
it
it's
showed
beautiful.
you it showed you how powerful having a wife. See, a lot of people are talking negatively about wives or life partnerships or having that one that's got your back and can see your peripheral vision. A lot of people are talking negative because they really don't know the value of a wife.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, I hate to say that, who are married aren't wives, but we'll leave that alone. But yeah, they're not
You know,
wives.
it's funny that you said that because how people view marriage and fuck marriage, let's call it long-term committed, loving, caring relationships. You said something one
Absolutely.
day. You said a woman could have sex with a man, but that don't mean she would be at the hospital as his power of attorney. Like that don't mean she give a fuck about this person's life. And I
No,
think at a certain point in everybody's life, as you mature, whether it's usatory or not, as you mature, you should be concerned about someone that has concern about your overall well being, your health, your finances, your
absolutely.
future, your legacy. So it's a
Absolutely.
situation where for the first time in my life, I have time for me, specifically set aside for me. And I was
I
joking
love it.
tonight. I feel good. That's why when I came on, I was like, I'm glowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I can feel the
yes,
glow. I can feel it in my
yes.
step. I'm 15 pounds lighter. My
I
skin
love
is
it.
clearer. You know,
No, it
just
is.
going to the gym and
I can definitely see it. No, it really is. It's resonating off of your
And
being.
people don't realize just going to the gym every day and having that time specifically for myself, it has
Yeah,
given me a lot of mental clarity. Like I don't drink like I used to. I don't smoke like I used to. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I
I'm
love
just
it.
calling myself cool with this cigar for the show, but it's like setting the vibration.
Absolutely.
But it's like I realize I'm eating healthier. I feel better. I'm waking up in the morning with my everything going on like it always been and better. It's
I
just like,
love it.
as a man, you don't know how much that you're really sacrificing until somebody sits you down and say, hey, look, I'm
Yeah,
watching you. I'm watching you, and I think you need some time for yourself, and we're gonna set it aside. Don't worry about cooking. We're gonna eat out for a month. I just want you to have this month for yourself, and just that month, man. In the past month, every day I text, I was like, man, I feel so good. And it's funny because I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe if you think it, you receive it. So with
absolutely.
me having this free time to myself in the morning, having total control of my life, I'm
Yes,
calling myself rich now. Because if I had a lot
yes.
of money and I was rich, guess what I would want to do? I would want to have control of my life. That's all I've ever
Mm,
wanted money for. That's all I ever wanted businesses. That's all I've ever wanted was Javon has control of his life. He does not have to work this 8 hours. He does not have to go here. He doesn't have to go there. So the first from 9 o'clock in the morning till
mhm.
I lay down at about 1 or 2, I wake up at
Yes,
7 o'clock. Notice I hit you right at 7. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Wake up at 7 o'clock. And then I
yes,
have my podcast. So it's like my entire day is mine. I don't
yes.
owe day to anyone. So I
Right.
feel so good. And nothing has happened or changed other than my wife looking at me and saying, hey, let me see how I can help my husband structure his day, sacrifice a little bit more time when she get off work. She be with the
Yes.
baby now. Whereas before, as soon as she got off work, it was like, oh, here go the baby. It's your time. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like she's sacrificing. So those are the
And
things I don't think
we
people
share. I don't know if
understand.
you know this, but we share something in common. I have a special needs grandson,
Mhm.
and so I get it. Trust me. I say he's nonverbal, but he's bossy. So he does the most. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But it's powerful that, when you have these special children, they change you to a different degree, but it has also helped me to understand nonverbal communication even more sharply now. So because of having a grandson that, and I like I tell you, he's nonverbal, but he says some things. Like if he wants something, he'll say open peace. So you know that you want something, you'll say it. But I understand even more so now the power of nonverbal communication and how the impact of that is just really not often thought about until we start to really sit down and pay attention to. When I don't talk, I can cast off a lot of energy, and my partner might be like, what's that about? Or what's that attitude or whatever? You know what I'm saying? We don't
Yeah.
have to say anything. And when we've been together with someone for a very long time, a lot of times we don't have to say a word, and they can pick it up. Nonverbal
It's
is
funny.
powerful.
It's funny because I used to joke with my wife early on. I had been in a marriage before I met her, and
Okay.
some things I learned about marriage was that nonverbal communication. And I was always adamant about us communicating. There were times that I probably should have been like, let her go off to the side and think, blah, 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 blah. But then there were times where I knew that was just an excuse to avoid a conversation. And so I would always tell her, it's so hard to stay mad or angry with someone you love, someone that you really like being around. And that, I think that's the thing that saved us, because it would be like, I would walk in the room after we've had a discussion, right? And I would walk in the room and I could see her smiling, playing on her phone or in a happy mood. And I walk in the room and she has to like straighten up. And I would see it and I would joke. I was like, look, and I would be like, look how happy you was. Look how happy you was. Now you had to, and we would laugh about it. And it will always be like, and that's what I'm saying about choosing someone that's compatible. It's like, I didn't like when we were, as old folks said, man in the doghouse. I didn't like being in the doghouse, and she didn't like putting me in the doghouse. So it would be a situation where that nonverbal communication that we're trying to, I'm still upset, right? I ain't got to say nothing, but I want to relate to you. I'm still upset, right? And we would like pick each other apart when we would do that. So it's amazing how when you really like someone and care about someone, you said something earlier about women don't know the value of being a wife. And like what I said about my wife giving me that time, it's one thing that I say that women don't understand. And this might be a crude example, but let me give you what I'm saying.
Okay.
So many women don't understand the value of a man just being around, the protection. I saw this child molester, and they asked this man, how do he pick his victims? And he said the number one thing was, if that child didn't have a father or uncle around, he knew that was his victim. He was afraid to deal with a child that had a father. So it's a situation where women don't understand the protection that's being provided just on your name. That's Mr. Wilson's daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep a certain type of guy from even approaching her. And so my overall arcing point is, I say to a lot of women, they say, I could never be with a man that would mess around on me. And I said, you've never had a man that provided and protected and gave you that feeling of everything. So all you can see is where's his dingling at. You've never had a man to kick in for you in such a way. That's why I always say, in having an open relationship and being poly, you know what I'm saying? From day one, my wife was so valued to me. I was so clear up front, like, hey, listen, the value that you bring to my life, the person that you are, I want that. We have a future. We have goals and visions and dreams tied together. I do not want infidelity or a wandering eye to ruin that. So my wife is so I've had guys call me a cuck, a simp, a hoe ass nigga. Oh man, you don't mind if your wife had another friend or something, or you crazy or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yo, man, sex is like number 10 on the list when you got a great person. When you got a great person, you can get to the point where sex don't even have to matter. You're looking at that person for sustenance, for vision. So I say it all the time. You can't say what you would do or what you wouldn't do until you have something that you never want to let go. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. In your example, you got a life partner for over 10, 12 years, and you like, we locked in. So somehow, some way, you and this man are very valuable to each, unless it's a woman.
We're on a spiritual, we're on a spiritual mission. That's what's deep. I didn't choose him. That was this wasn't something. Now see, because let me just tell you, when I was doing it my way and calling myself, oh, he's handsome, and I'm gonna be in pursuit of a man, I messed everything up. I'm talking about everything. I did not do a good job at it at all. So for me, I had to be like, listen, you need to just let this go. This is not your forte. And so I had my own personal agreement with my higher power. I said, look, I'm getting out of the car life and I'm going to ride in the passenger seat. Use me in this rest of this lifetime. Just use me to heal the planet and heal people. And I'm going to just do what I'm here to do. I'm going to be on my purpose. Well, when I did that, I ended up actually attracting him. And he ended up, because we're not even each other's type like that, per se. Like, I want somebody to look like, this and that. The physical part isn't even there. That wasn't what was moving for me. It was, we were both in a mission.
So I want you to speak on that real quick. I say all the time to women, I say, I promise you, if you try to be with your type, you're going to be hurt. Because I think our type is really just who we would fuck, and we like the way they dress.
Yes.
I think when you boil that down.
Remember, it's usually senses. Our senses is what savors our taste. So his scent, his breath, his complexion, his skin, his embrace, all of those things are moving for a woman. So it's easy to become attracted to a man. And then when men are alpha males, I don't give a damn what y'all look like. Half the time, alpha males are just delicious to the savory taste of women. We can't help it.
You're fucking tripping.
We can't help
it. So that's why some women don't admit, like, hey, I'm in a situation with this man just because my taste buds couldn't resist him, and I'm making this shit love, and I'm going crazy, and I'm turning this shit into something when it's just my senses. It's kind of like that old saying, you got 5 senses. Taste is one of your senses. What's the old saying? Good shit tastes bad. Like when growing up, grandma used to always tell us, if it's bitter, it's good for you. Like I said, grandma, it's nasty. She said, all medicine nasty. Anything bitter, good for you. She used to say that about liver all the time. We used to be like, I hate liver. I hate liver. But, they say beef liver and pork liver is the #1 protein, iron, blah, blah, blah. And it's got that bitter taste. Vegetables that are good for you have that bitterness. That sweet shit always be bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that taste we have in our mouth. It's like we turn.
And we can't help it. It's something that we did. Let me tell you something. There was a study that was done with women, and they had men wear a t-shirt for, I think it was like 14 days. And bag it up and never wear deodorant. They put the bags after the 14 days, they put the bags in front of women, and then the women had to smell inside the bag. And the women that chose the man based upon what his scent was, they said they had a genetic makeup that attracted her to his scent.
Mm. I say
What's
that
so
all the
deep
time.
about that, Javon, is that women are attracted to a scent that they don't even see.
Mm-hmm.
So a man we can be drawn to based upon his scent. And we are just like so fixated on some certain men. And then other men, we're just not moved by them.
You know,
Doesn't
Carla,
even matter.
that's so funny you said that, because a quick story. I was watching this thing on a National Geographic channel, and it was talking about an elephant's musk, M-U-S-K, musk,
Yes.
like Egyptian
Yes.
musk. That's why when people be
Yes.
like, he must tea with a T, I'd be like, that's wrong.
Right, right,
We're talking about musk, a scent.
right.
So
His scent.
these elephants, it was like this young elephant just fucking breaking out, kicking ass, trampling the village, destroying people. He was going
Yep.
crazy because it was doing mating season. And he was this young boy. He just fucking going crazy. And the women were going crazy for him. And they couldn't figure out how to stop this elephant bull, because he had got out and he was on the rampage. And so this older man said, let's go out and get an old elephant, a big old elephant. And they was like, he'll kick this elephant's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't gonna work.
Okay.
But it was like, no, just bring this older elephant in. And they brought this old elephant in. This motherfucker was walking slow as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like Snuffleupagus. And the young elephant was like, wait, motherfucker, come on in here. I'm gonna kick your motherfucking ass. And then when they brought the older elephant in, the older elephant was so lackadaisical. Then they brought some of the young bitches out. And the older elephant got to sweating, excited for the young bitches. And then he was still chilling. And the young elephant started going fucking crazy. And the young elephant ran off. And they could never find him again. And the older man said the younger elephant was afraid of the older elephant's musk. When they bought them bitches out, that old elephant started goddamn feeling so like he used to be or whatever. He started.
Yes.
And the young elephant was afraid of the musk. So I say all the time, there's a scent that men have that women attract. That's why I don't wear cologne. I don't wear cologne. I'll put on a little lotion. I got a little lotion, little Dove lotion I use. I don't wear no deodorant. And people don't realize I don't get musky. We're like animals, skunks. The only time we get musky is when we're anxious or sexually aroused. Because this is fact. You can go to the gym with no deodorant, work out 3 hours, and don't get musky. You can go to work, put on deodorant, and have to do a presentation and be nervous and smell yourself over your fucking deodorant.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I say all the time that men have a certain power over women that women don't even understand. And a lot of times, like you said, women are taking their senses, what they see, how the man feel, and they are getting so caught up on this, and they calling it romantic love, and they're doing things and putting themselves in situations for something that's literally a musk or a feeling. Can you speak to that? How does a woman tell? Well, we kind of know, but I want you to get into it, because I'm not a woman. How does a woman differentiate when I'm so sexually attracted to this man, his scent and being around him and his presence, from maybe he might not be good for me? How does a woman overcome that?
Well, first off, it's based upon results. See, one of the problems with most women we tend to do is we get romanticized versus realistic. So we'll stay in romance so much that we're so fixated on what he will be like, or what we think he should be like, or what we desire him to be, versus what it is. So most women have a tendency to get caught up and swooped up in intimacy, because normally the first initial sexual experience with someone is usually off the charts, is amazing. Oh my goodness, well, it's fresh, it's new. of course. But once you start to have that consistent intimacy and you're just doing it in a usual pattern, it's not that it's no longer vivacious. It's just now you have some knowledge of each other. You know what each other likes. You're moved by each other. So a lot of times when we want to know who's best for us versus who we like or enjoy looking at and adoring and lusting for, we have to pay attention out of realism versus romanticism. That's the difference.
So
So
let me
when
ask
you're not romantic, when you're not romanticizing and you're really real about, no, this guy is just who he is, and I'm moved, and we can lose time, and I'm not trying to hear him talk about where he's taking me and what we're doing. I'm more concerned about what his passion is or what he's moved by or what I can learn from him.
So let me ask you this. Let's set this up because we see this happen every day. This guy that she's moved by romantically, right? She's
Right.
gone by him. They fuck for a while.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, you know, the hyperactiveness of the good fucking in the beginning kind of wears off. She's dating him. That's Theodore. But she's also dating a good dude that really provides for her realistically. Why is it? Is it the pull of society for this woman to have this attractive man that other women won't? What is it about that makes her basically say, okay, I know that I'm in love with Jaquan for sex and how he looked to the world and what I think he could be. But I got Fred over here that's realistically doing shit for me. I can't call on Jaquan when I got a flat tire if I need help with my light bill. Fred is actually doing it. What is it that makes a woman not be able to see through this when it's actually happening in her life? This guy's not dependable, and this man is dependable. What is it that makes a woman tend to still focus all her time and energy trying to gain the man that's not dependable? Is it trying to conquer the king? What is it?
It depends on her season in life. If she's in a season that she is really wanting to devote her time, energy, and effort into a man that is going to have some, let's just say, longevity, he's going to be here a while. It's not really about the lust. It's more about his presence being just present, period. It's a whole different energy. See, most women get swooped up by what it is we get, I don't know, engulfed in. Like, we get excited over what he buys us, where he takes us. That's usually from a lustful space, and it's also to keep us high on our egoism. We get a high off of that. So as long as he's taking me here and buying me this and doing this and taking me, that we're on dates and all that stuff, that's satisfying to the woman's ego.
But Carla,
women are very competitive.
But my thing is, it's normally the good guy that's doing all that. The guy that's fucking the shit out of her ain't doing that. Why she?
No.
Why?
But that's what that. But if she's clear, she knows his purpose. There's a difference between lust affairs and love affairs. Completely different. See, one you give your heart to, the other you don't. You just sharing your body with it. It's not the same thing.
Let me ask you this, and I'm this is going to be a straight up question, and I know it's the answer is going. I want a yes or no answer, and I know it's going to seem a little crude. So, would it be a fair thing to say if a woman don't get married early and she get out in the world and start experiencing men? Would it be fair? Because it sounds like a woman got to get her hoeing out for her to finally say, "Hey, let me find the right type of guy I need to be with." Because for you to say the seasons, it's like, okay, the good man is right here in my face. If I got realistic common sense, it sounds like you're really saying a woman has to have a certain amount of, lust affairs. And then it's like, okay, now I'm ready to give my heart to somebody. Like, it's because it just seems like
we're human.
Women in their prime years of beauty hoeing out. And then when they to a certain age, they're like, okay, let me get the right type of man. And I'm like, it seemed like you would have got that when you was fucking 25 and voluptuous.
No,
it's
no,
easier.
you
keep 35 with stretch marks.
No. You keep forgetting that our time frames are different than men's. Remember, we were told not to give it up. early on. We're supposed to be in relationships. When men are out hoeing and having a good time and sharing their body with multiple women, we are taught to have one man or be looking for your husband.
So it's like you
So,
kind of become a hoe just by
yes,
serial looking for a husband.
yes.
Boy, you got a
And
funny way
so,
of saying shit. I fuck
and
with you.
wait, it gets better. And then after we get out of our season of saying, man, I gave all that, and I was a mom and a wife and all of this stuff, but I've never really had, I call it my playgirl years. I never experienced that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to indulge. And I'm going to allow myself to get whimsical and have a good time and not be judged. Because see, the real true trauma of a woman going out and engaging and having a little fun with being involved with multiple partners is we get judged.
Yeah, yeah. Because it almost seemed like it's like young hoe phase, then get married, or get
Yes,
married young, divorce, then have a whole phase. It's like women got
yes,
to have that phase of what they feel. And you know what I think? The way
what?
men placate and restrict women in their movement, I think
Mhm,
there's a certain level of freedom in a woman's mind when she can fuck like she want to fuck. Like, okay, think about this now. In society, we know there's a hierarchy. We know it's white men, white women,
mhm,
minorities, then black men, and we know the black woman is kind of last on the totem pole. So
right.
having autonomy over her body, it's almost like there's this thing like, with the my body, my choice. I should be able to have an abortion because that's autonomy over my body. And it's almost like that's sexually driven in a sense of saying there's a certain level of freedom that I have over myself from the patriarchy when I can do what I want to do with my body. Although I'm still going to be judged by society, I'm going to rebel.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a black man saying, fuck it, I'm going to do crime, man. I ain't going to conform to society. It's like there's this
Yes.
rebellion of this is my body, you know what I'm saying? And I do what I want to do.
Well,
Somebody
I'll tell
says,
you the reason why
Miss
the reason
Carla,
why
I
I
want you to
know.
respond to this real quick. Somebody
Okay.
says, speaking from an older perspective, these
Okay.
gals act like men now. Can you respond to that?
Well, some women do act like men because they've been burned. And what I was going to mention, one of the problems with a lot of women that just haven't really taken the time to learn herself and really nosedive into her own insecurities. And for instance, if you were young and you weren't getting a lot of play, or you were young and you kind of got ridiculed about some of your physical things and features and stuff that just wasn't hitting, a lot of times we don't know how to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we internalize it. So when a woman internalizes that, she normally becomes masculine to mask the
She try
pain.
to be tough, divide. So let me
Yes,
ask you this: the way you said that, getting teased about certain physical attributes and stuff, is
yes,
that why women will go out and they think there's a standard of beauty? Like, I got to push my breast up a certain way. My ass got to be a
absolutely.
certain way. If
Yes.
I wear all the right hair, all the right nails, all the right lashes, if I do everything, I
Mhm.
will be more welcoming to men, and not
Yes,
understanding that when you do that, you destroy your uniqueness. As I
absolutely.
look at you, just keeping it real, how old are you, Miss Carl? Like 56 or some shit?
52.
Okay, 52. Now, as I'm sitting here looking at you, I see a 52-year-old woman,
Right.
no makeup, none of that
Mhm.
stuff. Now, I can tell if you put on a little lipstick, a little blush or whatever,
Mhm.
that's going to enhance you. But I
Right.
also can see a beautiful, confident woman right here. How is it that you, at your age, knowing that we going live, right? You
Right.
know we going live. You know we
Mhm.
trying to make this show popular.
Of
That you
course.
come up here looking regular and not just a little lipstick, or you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
What is it about? How do you get to that point where you say, okay, how I look, I'm cool with that. I'm not against the enhancements totally, but what I'm saying, how do you get to
Yes.
the point where you say, look, shit, hopefully we got 1 million people viewing this shit one day. How do you get to this
Absolutely.
point where you can like, okay, I'm just going raw as Carla?
Because I told you that the Playgirl years changed everything for me. So what I did was when my ex-husband would make ridicule, like mean stuff about me physically, after the divorce from him, I ended up going into a whole new season and stripped myself down to my raw self and then loved every fucking inch of this body and didn't give a fuck about what other people thought about it, and was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that no matter what, I always feel appreciated and radiant because my purpose is what matters. Yes, this is my avatar, but what I understand it to be is that I'm going to love every inch, every stretch mark, every mole, every wrinkle, every whatever, and learn to age with grace, because I see Felicia Rashad, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I see Halle Berry aging, beautiful women. And I'm like, damn, I want to grow up and be like that. So now I'm just taking it all in. I don't mind the lashes. I don't mind enhancing. I enhance on some of my videos. But what I've made sure to do, though, is remember what my father told me. Remember, I told you why it's so important to have a father. My dad, I walked into the house one day. He hadn't seen me in a while. Walked in. Hey, Pop. He's like, you finally got your makeup right. Really? That is so sarcastic. What do you mean by that? But no, he told me makeup should be to enhance what you already have. It's not to overpower it. It's not to take away your beauty.
Yeah.
Just enhance it. If I put a little mascara, I will use it. A little eyebrow, yes, all of that. But what I won't do is just put all this makeup on and cake it on and take all day. No, give me about maximum 12 minutes and my makeup's done. I don't do all that.
Well, Miss Carla's getting winding down for time for me to get ready to get on up out of here. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you. I love you. I love
I
your
love you.
input. And we're gonna keep moving, and we'll see y'all next week, same time, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And
Y'all be good.
don't forget to jump on my Patreon, guys, and join my membership. It's $7 a month. Get over there and join Patreon. Don't
Most
forget.
definitely. Mr. Lease, go ahead and pop that up in here, her Patreon, real quick.
Yes.
And before as we get out of here, what was the other subject you had spoke on? It was something else we was going to talk about. And I realized, trying to do this podcast thing, like I said, I've been doing this before they call this shit podcast. So it's kind of like, not boring, but the idea of going into it. But as I sit here and we have these conversations, I got to get out of the idea that this conversation is going to be specifically about the topic. We have talked about so much tonight. So I realized that a meeting of good minds and good conversations is what the people need.
And we never practiced. We never rehearsed nothing. We just ad lib. We just, hey, what's up, Javon? Let's talk.
So we got that.
I think the other what was the other thing that we were talking about? What was I telling you about? I'm trying to remember what the other thing was. Do you remember?
I forgot. But look, we might save it for next week, or we'll talk about something next week. But I appreciate you, Miss Carla. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here? Give us the Jerry Springer, the overall point for the night.
No, I want people to realize that when you're in relationships, always remember that relationships can be powerful. Problem with most relationships is we try to do too much. If we would just relax all of that, remember you don't have to be poly or mono. You can be monogamist. You can say, I am who I am. When I'm in this relationship with someone and we flow and we're good, we don't have to put a lid on it. We don't have to put a cap on it. We don't have to describe it. Let's just be. What that does is that changes and evolves it into its maximum state.
And
so now you're not.
What it is. I got you. I got you. So look, let me summarize. Let that thing breathe.
Yes,
Just let that
yes,
thing breathe. You done got into
yes.
a little situation. Just live and be totally honest and let that thing breathe. I saw a
Wait,
little
before you go,
situation.
Javon, I wanted to ask you about how you said that you ended up being so open and honest with your wife at first. Why was she deserving of your honesty in comparison to all the other women?
I'm gonna be honest, truly, and this is my truest, honest opinion. I had been
Okay.
married before, and I
Okay.
was in the church. I was in the church when I was married, and I was a faithful man. And the hardest thing was for me to do was not
Mhm.
cheat. You know what I'm saying? That was
Okay.
just the hardest thing for me to do. And
Right.
I ended up cheating on my ex. And after we broke up, I realized, like, why the fuck would I stand here and tell somebody I would never sleep with somebody else at this young age? I'm a handsome
Right.
guy. It's fucking stupid to me. Like,
Mm.
why would I marry ever change up on you? I can't promise the rest of the day. So how can I promise you forever? So I
Right.
told myself, anybody I go into a relationship with
Right.
worthy of knowing the true me. And then I started thinking about my self-esteem and who I am as a man. If
Okay.
I lie to you, that means I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of
Mm.
what you'll think of me. So I said,
Mm.
from here on out, if I date a woman, I'm going to tell her I don't want her so bad that I would lie to her. If she can't accept me for who I am, I can't be with her. But the funny thing is so cool. When I met my wife and I told her this, I was like, day one, I think you're supposed to be my wife, but I can't see myself sleeping with just one woman for the rest of my life. I ain't gonna be no whore, but I need that option. Her response was, I think that's cool because I cheated on every dude I ever been with. So it was like we matched. It's
You
not like
match.
I convinced her to take on my
No.
lifestyle. She was looking for me,
No.
and I was looking for her. So that's
Right.
really the truth of it.
I love that. No, I love exactly what you said, is that you found who you were. If we think about it, you were looking for your wife to just be so you could be honest with her.
Yeah.
And then when you found out your honesty wasn't shoved or judged or demeaned, because if we really talk about the truth about cheating, most men's sexual behaviors are the number one thing that women critique and put in a box and blame and all that. But if we really think about it, what else are men really doing out here? If we take cheating off the just completely off the books, what are they really doing? Like you just told me earlier, it's about the operation. So you're watching the ring camera, you're making sure she's good, you're doing this, you're doing that. Then if we take cheating off the books, what will relating look like? Will relationships last? Well,
We're
I
gonna
think
talk
so.
about that. We're gonna talk about that. Miss Carla, I appreciate you, and we'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Y'all be good. Peace.
Peace, guys.